Good quote.
Yeah.
I will say, though, this caused me to look into some notable prison breaks. Because it's like, oh, this is a weird way of getting out of prison, but is it the weirdest way? No, not by a long shot. Of course, for our purposes, one of the most notable prison breaks of all time is, of course, John Dillinger.
I thought you were going to say the show.
Yep, when we broke out of Arkham Asylum ourselves. But I was saying to winterize the pipes, John was like, that's not a thing, what are you doing? But no, of course, back in 1934, John Dillinger broke out of Crown Point Jail by painting a lump of wood he had whittled black with shoe polish, pretending it was a gun, and then successfully just got his way out of there. They made it, this is in the movie Public Enemies, which of course stars Johnny Depp as John Dillinger, but also Christian Bale and Marion Cotillard.
And also, can I just say, like, I know obviously for obvious reasons Johnny Depp is cancelled at present, but I enjoyed that movie. This was prior to it coming out, everything that's going on.
Yeah. But of course, Christian Bale, Marion Cotillard, so Batman and Talia al Ghul, everything's connected. Yeah. Also directed by Michael Mann, who Chris Nolan has cited as, Michael Mann's Heat as being one of the main inspirations behind The Dark Knight as well. So,
and I am also surprised we never got a Johnny Depp cameo in a Batman film.
Oh, they wanted it for, like, the fans were wanting that for a long goddamn time. Constantly talking about Johnny Depp, and then, like, every single character that was announced during the Nolan era,
it should be Johnny Depp.
It was just like, Talia al Ghul goes, Johnny Depp, he could play it, why not? It's like, oh, it's going to be some newscaster guy. Johnny Depp, get him in there, did you do something? But yeah, so that's John Dillinger did that. I think in Public Enemies, you see him take like 3 guards hostage. And a lot of people are like, that's a bit silly. Apparently, in reality, it took like 9 people hostage. And
but on film, it looked like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they were just like, no one's going to believe that actually happened. They're like, well, they did. So, but
in the moment, if you are there, if you're one of them, and that's happening, I think you would just you would go along with what he's doing and saying. You wouldn't question like, wait, that doesn't look like a gun.
Well, I think it's best to not take the risk, really, isn't it? It's like, well, if he gets out. But, it doesn't do anything to me particularly. But,
someone will get him.
Yeah, but if I'm wrong, then I'm dead. So it's best to play it safe. But
I wouldn't care. As a guard, I know this sounds awful. I'd be like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm making minimum wage. I'm not on commission. Like, they don't pay me less if there's fewer.
Exactly.
Prisoners here,
the mentality that one guy in Iron Man 3, when like Tony Stark is tearing up the compound at the end, and that one goon just puts up his gun, and he's just like, you know what? Yeah, fine. They're not paying me enough for this.
That'd be me. I mean, if the guards are paid $17,000 a year, okay.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that when you said he painted a piece of wood to look like a gun, I was hoping you would say he painted a hole in a wall and escaped that way. That's where I hoped you were going with that.
He painted it and just magically walked through.
He did something. John Dillinger was part Looney Tune, they say.
Worked
That's
in
the
Roger
trick
Rabbit.
to escaping.
Yeah. But in the same vein, a notable prison breaker, a fellow called Michel Valjour. I'm not too French guy anyway. I'm not too
Jean
sure.
Valjean.
Jean Valjean. Although did Jean Valjean escape, or was he just released? Oh no, he escaped the whole thing.
No, wait, hang on. Which one's Jean Valjean though? Is he the policeman or the criminal?
Oh, the policeman, Javert, John.
That's Javert. Yeah, I'm Javert. Yeah, okay. So Jean Valjean,
of course he escaped, because the whole thing is Javert trying to track him down because he escaped.
Yeah.
So yeah, no,
but it's all because he stole some bread, which is like, well, is that a crime? That's the whole political thing.
To death. You will starve again unless you learn the meaning of the law.
I genuinely like that film. I don't care what critics say.
But yeah, Michel Valjour, at one point in 1972, during one of his many prison escapes, he also painted a bar of soap to look like a gun and took a magistrate hostage and then escaped that way.
This sounds like something from The Great Escape.
Yeah, this is
something out of Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah.
It's like I think a lot of these guys are like, when you read up on them, it's like, it's actually kind of easy to escape prison. You just have to be really ballsy with it. Like, I think a lot of people don't do the things because they're like, oh, this will never work. But you just have to kind of believe it's going to work. And it turns out, A lot of the time it does.
It's that old wrestling tactic. It is, if you sell it with enough conviction, people will buy it.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, his first prison escape, the same guy, was that he took a Baby Bell, the little cheese with the red wax around it.
Wait. They had Baby Bell cheese then?
Yeah, apparently, back in the 70s. And, so he peeled it, ate the cheese, kept the wax, then bumped into a guard and kind of did like, sorry, slapped the wax over the key, took a mold of the key from that, then went into the workshop, made the key, and then he used, he used something to burn a little hole in the wall.
Oh, God.
His immersion heater. He used his immersion heater in the cell to burn a hole in the wall so he could reach the key around and just open the door.
This guy needs a medal.
Yeah. And then his best one at the end was amongst several other, a lot of the kind of cliched, like laundry cart kind of escape stuff. But then at one point, his wife nearby, when he was locked up, she went under an assumed name and took helicopter lessons so no one would know it was her. Then he painted a load of nectarines to look like grenades and just claimed he had grenades on him and then made his way up to the roof. And then his wife came in a helicopter and picked him up.
Oh my! What?
And he was just like, "Yep, it's got up. Yeah, just."
This is like a video game. What the hell?
This sounds like I think this sounds like prison guards want people to. They're looking for an excuse. They're just point your finger and tell me it's a gun. They're just looking for an excuse to let people go at this point.
At the same time, though, if a prisoner comes up to you and puts something, that's what she said, hard in your back, you're going to be like, okay, fine, it's a gun. Mm. I'm not going to question them. I'll be like, okay, what do you want? I don't care.
But are you going to think they have grenades?
Well, I mean, I would assume not, but at the same time, it's like, well, is it worth me assuming not?
How sure are you? Are you willing to risk it?
Yeah. Like I'm not being paid enough to care. Okay, fine, do whatever.
And some of these as well, like some of the other ones are just like they're crazy simple. Like one of them from July 2017, in Walker County Jail in Alabama, some prisoners went up to the exit and smeared peanut butter over the exit sign, and then said to one of the guards, "Can you let us in this room?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And they just walked out the door. Like I guess it was just the most idiotic guard in the history of any prison ever. But apparently, some guys successfully escaped a prison just by doing that.
That's insane to me.
Apparently,
that reminds me of.
Oh, go ahead.
That reminds me of the comedy program here, Phoenix Nights, which it was a very big program here, and there's a bit where these criminals come and steal the TV from the pub because they just dress in overalls and come in with a ladder, and in front of everybody just take the TV off the wall and walk out, and nobody questions it because why would you? These guys in overalls, they've got a ladder. Well, they obviously, they're doing some repairs.
Yeah.
And it's like that at my work. Like, I'm at the hospital. People just come in with a drill, and it's like, "Oh, I'm here to, fix the elevator." Okay.
I think that is the thing with thieves. I think they gotta use a lot of high vis jackets when they're breaking into people's houses because it's like if you see some guy in a high vis jacket and
you don't question it.
Yeah, they're like, "Well, he must be there doing something, fixing the drains or something like that." So, but yeah, another one for our purposes was that in Brazil, in 2000.
Wait, the country or the movie?
the country.
Okay.
This also really happened. But in 2015, two women came into the prison in sort of latex police women uniforms,
like from a fetish shop.
Yeah, full blown thing, and they just seduced the guards, and they gave them spiked whiskey, knocked the guys out, took their keys, and then set 26 inmates free. And no one's sure exactly why. They're like, "Oh, we think maybe one of their boyfriends was one of the inmates." Presumably.
Why? Because it's funny.
Either that, or it's properly like, "Oh, some people just like to watch the world burn." I guess it's a real why would you do that? It's like, for fun, and it's great too because they've documented all of it, and they actually show you like the firemen waking up one of the naked guards because they stripped them as well once they knocked them out. So it's just this prison guard lying on the bottom of a cell, completely bollock naked, going.
Oh God, that's amazing.
They've got all the close-up shots of all the outfits they were wearing and stuff, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, Idiocracy was a documentary. You could just walk up to the prison guard and be like, I was supposed to be going out. I'm in prison. I'm supposed to be going out. And they'll be like, oh, okay. Then go.
Well, if there's one thing 2020 and 2021 have taught us is that Idiocracy is reality.
Way too real. Yes.
Yeah.
Way too real.
Yeah. I should also say, too, is the most classic of prison breaks, of course, is the escape from Alcatraz. Where a couple of guys just burrowed through the wall with a spoon.
Genius.
But the way they actually got away from the Alcatraz island was that they sewed a bunch of raincoats together, and that was the craft, like the raft they made. And I was just like, Selena Kyle would be really proud of that. Just like an old raincoat can get you far in the world.
It can. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
See, the one I always think of is The Great Escape.
Mm.
And it's because my mum is related to the real person.
Oh, Charles Bronson?
No, not Charles Bronson. To the actual person who escaped the prison. And he did open a motorbike shop, hilariously.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Have you shout out to the Great Escape Minute? Have you talked to those guys?
I didn't know there was a minute by minute show of The Great Escape. What the hell?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, from Movie Rob.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going on and I'm going to hit my mum up and be like, can you give me all the goss? Give me all the info. Come on.
Get the goss. Spill the tea.
I think he might... This might be conjecture, right? He did open a motorbike shop, and I think it might have been in Carlisle, where my parents are from.
Mm.
I think that's the connection. I was born in Carlisle, but I lived there for 2 weeks of my life.
I thought you were quoting that ad for a second, the army recruitment ad. Where he's like, I was born in Carlisle, but I was made in the army.
Oh God, yeah, that is an advert that is not only on the TV, it's at the cinema.
Yeah,
if you go and watch a movie, there's like some goddamn guy from Carlisle going,
yeah,
oh, I was made in the army. Shut up.
It's like, yeah, army recruitment's going to be everywhere. Just like the government will splash out for that. It's like, get you at every goddamn turn. You're sitting at a bus stop. Wow, hey, you want to join the army? No. You sure?
Well, Americans know about that. I mean, you guys have army recruitment stuff all over the... I mean, I play Call of Duty, the video game, and I'm such a nerd. I watch the Call of Duty League, but, I'm a leftist, so I spot things. The Call of Duty League, guess who sponsors it? It goes, sponsored by the U.S. Army.
The U.S. Army.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, you're recruiting children through a video game.
It's propaganda.
It is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But,
not to get too political on a fun podcast.